Hey, what's up? It's Greg from Fisherman's headquarters, and today is Wednesday, September 4th. I'm up here in North End, Barnegat Light, Bayside. Here to share an updated fish report with you folks. Just finished up a morning charter. I guess it was late morning. I guess the time of this report is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it's almost 3 o'clock-ish. Finished up morning charter, had a good fun time. Did a few different things, got into a couple different species. Got some bluefish off the get-go. There's been some smaller cocktail blues around. Some of the bigger bluefish that I reported maybe a report or two back somewhat have eluded me the last couple of trips out. With the smaller cocktails around, giving some good light tackle fun. Switched gears off of that right away once we got the lines tight and kind of shook the skunk. Chased a couple Albies. It was pretty rough this morning with the say northeast easterly blow. Pretty lumpy conditions, sporty conditions, bumpy. Got in a couple Albies. It was definitely not the easiest due to the winds, but we did hook up with one. Missed a couple really good shots, a couple good opportunities. Had a little wind knot deal and a couple tangles at kind of the least opportune times. Didn't waste much time with the blues or Albies. Kind of got a little of this, a little of that, and then we jumped over, started doing some fluke fishing. That was really the primary goal for the trip. And we did some pretty good fishing. Had a lot of shorts. I guess we finished the day with 3 keepers, and I'd say maybe we put, I don't know, call it about 3-hour session in, so not terrible, but we got a lot of action with mostly the shorts, very few garbage fish. I mean, there were at times some sea robins giving us trouble, but seemed to be, for us, the best fishing was mostly on the salmon and pink shine. Salmon was definitely outproducing, I think, everything else today. Little on the fire tiger, too. Fished right outside of the inlet, outside Barnegat Inlet. That's where the Albies have been, that's where the bluefish have been. Fished the Barnegat Light Reef, figured it would be a nice easy ride out and back with the, say, sloppier conditions. Really wanted to fish some other wrecks and whatnot. Last year when Dan was in from, I believe he's from San Francisco, fished with his brother and his dad. When he was in last year, we got into some wreck fishing, some really good weather. Allowed us to fish, say, some wrecks about 10 miles off. We did some really good fishing. So expectations were high, and I can't say we matched them, but as far as fluke goes, but the Albie definitely, the one Albie definitely spiced up the trip. So if you're looking to get out and do some fishing, there's lots of good opportunities right now. We've got a little bit of, say, a nice day now, a little window. It was blowing yesterday, so we got another bit of blow coming here next few days. Looks like we got residual swell throughout the weekend. Looks like right into possibly Sunday it lingers down into 3 to 4 foot. So we got, say, a slow moving low pressure system offshore. Right now I could share we've got some water temperatures in the 70-degree range, 70-degree in the bay, 70-degree in the ocean. Both incoming, outgoing tide are pretty consistent. Water temperatures, that's pretty good. So you're not going to have that slower tide that we had, say, a few weeks back with the colder water. With 70-degree water temperatures, hey buddy, how's it going? With those, I'd say, more consistent water temperatures, we got pretty good fishing on both tides, incoming and outgoing. Fluke season, I guess, runs until September, I think it's 25th. May be wrong on that, but I think it's pretty sure it's 25th. You should have pretty good fishing right now throughout the rest of the season. There's still some fluke in the bayside. I was out the other day, caught some fluke right here, very close to my dock. I know Oyster Creek and Double Creek have had fish. Mentioned the inlet, great spot to be fishing right now, let's say late part of the fluke season, and also the nearshore wrecks and reefs, and even some open bottom areas as well. Like I mentioned, I was on the Barnegat Light Reef. There's plenty of fish there. There's a lot of boats. Saw a lot of nets going over. I don't know exactly how everybody made out. I know a couple friends the other day said they had a lot of shorts there, but there's definitely keepers in the mix. I can share, I mentioned the Albies. There's been a lot of Albies around. Some days better than others, but if you want to get into those, I would suggest going with some smaller lures, real small stuff. In order to cast small lures, you need light tackle rods, you need light line. My favorite lures are going to be the 7/8 ounce Hoagie epoxy jig, also the 7/8 ounce Savage glass minnow jig, and also the #1 Deadly Dick. Those are kind of my 3 primaries that I'm going to throw first at Albies. You can catch Albies on a lot of different things. Sometimes you want to fish soft plastics, so maybe you want to go, say, heavier or lighter. That's up to you, but I like to fish, say, a 6/6 or 7 foot, say, medium light rod, fast action preferably, little 3000 reel spooled up with 20-pound test. I use 20-pound fluorocarbon, and I try to do a perfections loop at the end of that fluorocarbon so I can loop directly onto my jig. I don't use any hardware, no swivels, no snap swivels, no clips, any of that stuff. Keep the jewelry to a minimum with them. I will say one thing that was a little bit frustrating today is we did have a lot of seaweed on the surface where the Albies were when we were kind of going pod to pod. That made things kind of challenging. The second you got weed on your line, crank it and get it out. You got to clean that up. Most of the time I like to fish Albie jigs quick, skipping them across the top. When there's weed on top, you really can't do that. So you got to kind of let them fall down a little bit. But hopefully that helps out a little bit. I can share that the jetty fishing for tog is happening. Can't say that it's great, say epic big fishing taking place, but there are a lot of fish to be caught. I would say most are in the range of say 10 to 12, 13 range-ish. So hopefully you get out and you earn your tog, your keeper. It's gonna be 15 inches, you'll have one right now. Sand fleas, green crabs would be the way to do it. You can fish a jig or a rig. Maybe you want to fish right inside the rocks. Maybe you want to cast out a little bit, it's up to you. Normally, faster moving tide, I suggest fishing closer in. If the tide slows down, you can cast and fish a little further out. You might want to do a little bit of reconnaissance at low tide, just kind of scout out different areas. Some areas are more snaggy than others. Also with the inlet, there's gonna be some sheep's head around, also some bluefish around. Fluke, great time to be fluke in the inlet as well. One other thing I can share is off the surf, we got some kingfish, there's some bluefish, and I can also say there's a couple striped bass. Mullet run starting to happen, so right now we're kind of progressing into say the fall time. We're here early September. Hopefully everybody had a great Labor Day. But the mullet run's on. We just had the new moon, I think was on the 2nd, just a couple days back. Things are progressing into fall very well. We've got beautiful day here, sun's out, super dry, very chilly this morning, but very dry, no humidity. I guess that you call that a low dew point. Just beautiful weather right now. We'll see how kind of things play out with this easterly blow that we got coming. Hopefully it's not too rough and too churned up. Like I said earlier, I think it's going to be like 2 to 3, if not 3 to 4 foot swell for the next few days into the weekend and through the weekend. If you are fishing the surf, kingfish will be probably your best bet. If you want to cast lures, catch bluefish, or you can fish a jig or a rig, say with gulp or live minnow or spearing, strip of squid for fluke. I mentioned Dan earlier in the video. He was aboard my boat today. He said that he was fishing down the south end on the surf. He said he got some fluke down there and some blues, so I know they're catching them down there. I believe the gentleman's name is Matt Moffitt, I believe. He posted a photo the other day. He had his first striper off the surf of the quote-unquote fall. So it's good to see a couple stripers around. If you're wanting to target them, you're probably going to fish sand fleas. If not sand fleas, you could probably fish some clam or fish lures, plugs. More than likely, it's going to be more of a bycatch thing. But if you were going to say go out and target them, fish some smaller SPs, fish some smaller Rapalas, little poppers, match the hatch for mullet. Mullet are going to be kind of moving around. They're in the bay right now. There's some coming out the inlets and they're coming on the beaches. There's also a lot of rainfish, whether you want to call them spearing, whether you want to call them bay anchovies, little silver sides. The rain bait kind of is just somewhat, or a white bait is sort of a general catch-all. But there is spearing. I was just seining with my son the other day. There's a bunch of spearing around. There's a bunch of peanut bunker around. Some real small baby bluefish. I saw some of the Albies spitting up. And actually a couple bluefish the other day spit up bluefish eating bluefish. Fluke are also like that. They just eat their own kind. Earlier this season in the bay, fishing one of these channels, I think it was Oyster Creek or Double Creek, caught a couple fluke one day and each of them were spitting up little baby fluke. I forget where I was going with that, but yeah, we've got a good opportunity to be catching fish during the mullet run off the surf and inlet, matching the hatch. Mullet are most times 4-inch baits. Yeah, they get a little smaller, yeah, you can get a little bigger. You could be fishing lures such as like a stillwater popper. There's some other poppers that match the hatch really well. A smaller little neck popper from Super Strike. I like a floating popper for the mullet run because mullet most times are sitting up top and they V-wake. They don't really sink down. If it is windy, you might want to go to a sinking popper from Super Strike. It's a good option. Another option would be a hydro pencil from Yozuri. You can work them on top. You want something small, kind of walk the dog, zigzag on the surface. Another great lure to match the hatch for when the mullet are happening. I mentioned the SP minnow. You can't go wrong there. A small paddle tail is also a great way to match the hatch during the mullet run. NLBN or say tsunami paddle shad, something like that, paddle tail shad. The classic sassy shads on a lead head, you can't go wrong with that. And I guess my other little secret weapon during mullet run would be a bomber wind cheater. Definitely a phenomenal lure. Bouncing back to the kingfish, you're gonna be using bloodworm or fish bites. Those would be the two best baits. Small hook, you gotta go down to a real small hook, say a number 6-ish, longer shank. I can say there's some tog around, some smaller ones, and there's also some porgies on the inshore wrecks and reef sites that I fished. I fished a wreck the other day and got some porgies. I was fishing sand fleas. I was fishing a number 4 hook. You like to use small hooks for them. I was trying to catch triggerfish, but caught porgies, caught a bunch of tog. You can share the blowfish in the bay is much better. Ryan Warfer was just out a couple days ago. He reported some really good size blowfish, and he was fishing the Barnegat Bay here. So it's good to see the blowfish action has definitely picked up. I think I shared that in the last report. Anybody who follows along, I appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Anybody that knows or doesn't know, I run fishinglbi.com, Fish Report blog. I appreciate all those that check in there and subscribe. Also want to apologize. I had a little bit of a server issue. GoDaddy kind of stiffed me on one. I had a little bit of a full server. Server load was maxed out. Called them up to do an upgrade, and sure enough, the upgrade turned into a total nightmare. So the site's been down for the better part of, I guess, 3 or 4 days, maybe even longer. I think I found out about 4 or 5 days ago. Couldn't upload, can't view, but supposedly it's back up and running. I was on tech support last night. The night before last for a few hours, last night from 10 o'clock to almost 2 a.m. The one guy at GoDaddy really sent me down a dirty road. He was totally lost and made things a lot worse than they should have been. But the guy last night really corrected things and cleaned things up. So appreciate to all those people that follow on fishinglbi.com. It's a blog I've ran for a long, long time. Hopefully you check it out regularly. Hopefully it brings some value to you. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube page, appreciate you. Check out the videos. Please subscribe. Hopefully I brought value to you this entire summertime season. And I'll do my best to continue bringing some valuable fishing content, say this entire rest of the season, say fall, right into the end of the year. Hopefully you're getting out and enjoying the weather that we have so far. Call it local summer. If anybody, say, is gone for the summer, it's a bummer, gonna miss you. But I feel like this is one of the best times to be on LBI, taking advantage of the beautiful weather, beautiful water, beautiful fishing opportunities that we have. Fluke fishing is going to be prime time right to the end of the season. Hopefully tog's going to be getting better. Mullet run's already kicking off and underway. So we bluefish, striped bass, got a good smorgasbord here. Already mentioned the blowfish, kingfish, tog, trigger, sheep's head, you name it. I'm sure I'm missing a few other species there. For sure, great crabbing and clamming. The beaches are open up to 4-wheel drives any day. Some are already opening. So if you're looking to get 4-wheel access, now's the time to kind of look into that with the different municipalities. And I will give a shout out to the Long Beach Island Surf Fishing Classic. This year is the 70th annual. It kicks off on October 5th. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th. It's either 5th or 6th. It's the first Saturday, I believe, in October. And I'll be giving a seminar with Bayside Dave, a free surf fishing seminar at the Firehouse in Ship Bottom. Do an opening day seminar every single year. There's going to be free coffee from How You Brewin'. Shout out to How You Brewin'. Thanks for the sponsorship. Also shout out to Crust and Crumb. They got a bakery down Beach Haven. They're providing some donuts. We'll have some free donuts and coffee there. Also be door prizes from AFW, it's American Fishing Wire, and also High Seas. Last year we handed out a bunch of leaders. We had also some prizes, door prizes from Tsunami. Gave us some Tsunami rods. I'm not sure how that's going to play out this year. I do know Penn gave us some rods and Penn gave us some reels. So there's a shout out to a couple sponsors that provided free goods for the event. If you can, save the date. It's going to be a good time. If you can, stop by, say what's up, and maybe we can communicate and talk and do a question and answer, and hopefully get to meet everybody. So once again, that is October 5th at the Ship Bottom Firehouse, and that's the kickoff to the Long Beach Island Surf Fishing Classic. That's a 9-week surf fishing tournament. And if you're not aware of it, there's also a catch and release division called the Surf Masters. It is $40 to sign up this year to the Surf Fishing Classic. There's tons of prizes, dailies, weekly segments, grand prizes, special prizes, lots of stuff to win. There's also some good prizes in the catch and release division as well. Fishing for striped bass, bluefish, kingfish. I think there's a tog on there, even a redfish, a red drum prize. A lot of different opportunities. Get down to LBI and enjoy the best this fall has to offer. Once again, it's Greg at Fisherman's Headquarters. Have a great day.